I once had dreams of being an adventurer, an explorer. So, I wandered. In the wild, I began to discover what it means to be completely present in the moment, to be in a state of flow. I found my flow in nature. My experiences with nature began to teach me more about myself than I could have ever imagined. I discovered an honest and authentic version of myself. My mind was expanding through nature. I had no idea what to expect, but I felt like the universe was guiding me. I realized I couldn't always do this journey on my own. I felt I had lots to learn from those close to me. Mats Onsum has been an inspiration to me for years with his life approach. I felt I had a lot I could learn from Mats, and at the same time it was a great opportunity to introduce him to my world. Costa Rica was a part of the world I always wanted to visit. So, we decided to take the plunge and embark on an adventure together. Me and Matt have always connected with our view of reality and our view of truth and authenticity. And Matt's had always wanted to come with me and explore how I turn to sort of my spiritual side, which has always been in nature. And then this thing comes along, and finally he could come and experience sort of my view on interacting with nature.
We both have these different ways of approaching life, these different practices that are kind of coming together towards the same thing. I teach yoga, and he teaches like these bushcraft workshops, and he's an ex-military guy who has all this like self-discipline thing going on, and adventure, and he has a strong mind and also a gentle heart. So this combination of gentleness and strength, I find it beautiful. It's really nice.
I could see that he really needed this, and just as much as I needed him to be here and share this experience with. I couldn't imagine anyone else other than him to really bring here.
We're in Costa Rica. We're in Turrialba. My name's Danny Pellid, and I'm the owner of Pacuare River Adventures. We guide trips around the world, multi-day whitewater trips, and I'm also a river rescue instructor. Mathias got in touch with me, and we were talking about packrafting options down here. And one thing we talked about was a source-to-sea expedition on the Pacuare River. There's a section of it called the Lower Pacuare that's renowned for whitewater rafting. What we talked about is them going in and hiking even above those sections to where there are no roads that get into the river, and going from the tippy-top headwaters of the Pacuare all the way down to the ocean.
The second I started talking to him, I knew we were in good hands. It's clear talking to him that he has been working as a guide for a while. Did you have another blue strap then? I have no experience. That's completely new to me. I did some rafting in Shua 7 years ago. That's more like you're sitting the big rafts and paddling, so that's about it.
So what we decided to do was get them set up and get Mathias and Matt's equipment in order to do this trip and organize all the logistics. But in order to have the most success, we decided to do a training mission first on the Lower Pacuare to test out gear, and also to do a whole bunch of whitewater training.
Like, even if it's really shallow, if you arch your back and you're just kind of loose, you can just kind of just go over rocks.
What I love about the Pacuare River is that it is beautiful. So there's untouched virgin rainforest that we're able to paddle through. It's quite pristine. The right side of the river and everything south is a huge chain of mountains and jungle that go all the way to Panama. It's just what you'd imagine of a jungle river. So there's like waterfalls coming in everywhere. There's blue morpho butterflies fluttering around. There's toucans, there's sloths in the trees, and there's great whitewater. It was really great to see their learning curve because both Mathias and Mats are very athletic and coordinated, and so over the course of our training session they really got more and more comfortable in the boats, and by the end were able to kind of lead down rapids on their own and really seemed to be enjoying themselves quite a lot, but also built up a fair amount of confidence with packrafting.
Of course there's nervousness happening, but every time I check in, like every time I really feel and not allow mind to be what's in control of the moment, I feel calmness, or I feel relaxed into the situation. Although I'm nervous, although it's unfamiliar, it feels like I'm in the right place.
One thing that's important to me is like these kind of things are the biggest experience I have in my life. Like I can't compare these things to anything else.
I'm super thankful, I'm super grateful that we're here now, and I'm very, very excited to see where this takes us.
The thing that I've been thinking a lot about this river is that it doesn't matter who your role sort of gets wiped out. Like the river don't give a shit. The only thing, you are there on the mercy of the river. So the thing that I'm looking for is the experience of just being at one with myself and one with the river and nature around me.
All these different practices or approaches to reach this state of being or consciousness or depth of the present moment, and letting that unfold from a different place than mine, but from a deeper place. And I've been wanting to find new approaches to reach that place, try new activities, see if there's other ways in to the same consciousness. And that is a lot of what this trip is about for me.
I would not be comfortable going on the river without that conversation with Mike. Because the main thing I want to mark out is
the tracks.
He clarified a lot of things. Like, it's not obvious just looking at these maps where the sort of evac routes would be. To have Mike be here and say, no, a car can come down here, but it can't come down on this road, is essential, just like safety-wise. We wouldn't have been able to do that on our own.
You have to cross that, and then you'll decide where you want to start from.
Now looking at the big picture map, I'm like, we're definitely gonna come through this. Like, there's no way we're not gonna finish this thing. But I do see some areas where I know this is going to be a challenge.
Is this too much for me? Am I in over my head? No. This is what we came here for.
So just getting out of the car and just saying bye to the driver and seeing it drive off just made the whole thing very much real. It just put me in the place where it's like, it's happening, you made the choice to come on this journey, and now you have to follow through. But for the most part, right there, I felt ready. Yeah. First thing that happens as we get on the river is that it starts raining. And I was not expecting Costa Rican rainforest to be that cold. Like, I was freezing to the point where I was shaking. So that was one of the real key moments of being slapped out of comfort zones.
Either go to the left and the right with that fucky rock there. I could see Matt lose himself. It's very interesting to me because he knows how he wants to be in this world, and he was not acting accordingly. Right here, right here, right here.
All these things coming together, like feeling like I'm not in control of my boat, feeling like I'm not in control of anything, while freezing my ass off and it pissing down on us all day. Yeah, that was a very rough start to the whole adventure, yeah.
I was actually pretty scared at a couple of points yesterday. Like flipping over in the most intense rapids, the class 4 rapids, actually scared me a bit. And I mean, this is my first time ever pack rafting, and we're going on this mission down the entire Pacuare River. So actually right now I don't feel scared to go back on the river, I just don't want to.
It was a pretty miserable place in many ways. Entire night it was still pissing down, just raining, and that made the river swell up, and just being uncomfortable being like on the river at all, and then knowing that we're going back in, and now it's even higher. That was also triggering a lot of stuff in me.
I don't have any reference points, but it makes sense that if it's higher, it takes us over all these puffy rocks that have been like a major part of what has been slowing us down.
I didn't want to take any chances on that day, simply because I seen Matt's had a really rough day the day before.
That felt comforting in many ways, like knowing that, okay, the water will carry us faster and possibly over all these potential hazards or annoying, frustrating rocks.
It's difficult to make him feel comfortable, but to make him feel safe, that was my main priority that morning. Let's fucking do it. So we started to have some pretty rough rapids, and we could see further down that because of the water rising, and also because it was just getting more narrow and more hairy. I had some issues with exactly where we were and which bridge, because there was some confusion there, but finally we found that bridge and it's perfect. I was sure which bridge it was. I think had I been alone, I might have pushed it further in the planning phase, but I would still have gotten out there after seeing the reality of it. So I think to get out there was really the best move, just safety-wise. We don't want to get caught in some rapids we can't handle, especially not in that sort of narrow canyon that was waiting for us up ahead. So we're getting off now, we're gonna walk to the closest little town and sort of see what we're doing there. We're gonna try to get to Moyahones. Give it to me now.
Right, we're moving. Great. Snacking and moving simultaneously. This is a good thing. Good combination.
We're going to this place called Moyahones, which is like a small village in the hilltops, and it's pretty far away, and we've figured, why not? Let's go. Let's get a ride with this guy. And just like sitting on the back of that truck and just watching the trees pass by and the landscape pass by and birds fly by and all these things, and sunshine finally happening. That was one of the moments that really triggered something blissful.
The thing about this community, everyone was so happy to see us. Like, they were just so stoked that someone would come to their town. Like, that was not something that was normal for them. So they were just so happy and wanted to show us around and wanted to tell us the story of the town and everything. They took us to this beautiful lookout point so we could take a look at the river from above, which really helped because we could see that where the river would narrow down and where it would open up. And it really helped us for the next day when we started to plan where to put back in.
There's this family stay program thing happening there, and they open their doors and they happen to have just enough room for us. And they cook a wonderful meal for us, and there's entertainment in the evening, like there's local kids dancing and showing the culture. just seeing how they live and how excited they were that we were there. One of them even told us, like, you're like angels that have come here, because no one comes here.
We woke up the next morning, we started to pack our stuff together, getting ready to leave. And as we were packing, the man of the house showed up and sort of offered to bring up a horse to help us carry our bags down. Again, it just shows the generosity of that whole family and the community. As I was walking down there, I felt I was quite grateful that we accepted a horse. It was nice on the knees to have lighter packs. So Dos Montañas is a big rapid that on our training mission we stopped, went out, and I remember looking at it and being quite intimidated.
Just getting in the boat in the first place was super uncomfortable, to the point where we see this rapid and it's like, holy shit, like, how do we get through this? Are we ever gonna do this?
Out here, down here, over to that tongue, and then over, right, and down.
Even then we knew we were gonna do it on our actual expedition. Dos Montañas was always in the back of my mind. Like, I knew I was coming to revisit Dos Montañas.
And as we come down to Dos Montañas, we scout it and we look at it and it's like, okay, it still looks like kind of challenging, but also it's nothing compared to some of the stuff we've encountered so far. So it's like, oh wow, like I'm still nervous because I kind of built up this nervousness around this whole section.
It's a beautiful sense of being present and really living in the now. And you know, you can come to those states working on yourself, meditating, but if you want to just get like the expressway, put yourself in that situation, then you're right there.
All right.
You can try to think of something else than that rapid, but it's impossible. Like, your mind is right then and there. Like, it's a very real moment where no matter what kind of worries you had from the past, it's not going to bother you right there. No matter where you want to go in the future, that is not on your mind whatsoever. The only thing that's on your mind is what is happening right here, right now. And it's a beautiful sense of being present and really living in the now.
Yeah! Fucking awesome!
So to me, that's years of meditation put into like just 2 minutes.
All right, so last day, and we're about to set off in the hardshell kayaks to get to the coast. We switched to hardshell kayaks because there are apparently dangers of crocodiles, from what I've understood.
Its last stretch is 50 kilometers on totally flat water.
Since it's the last stretch, that's why I'm wearing my Sunday clothes. So I'm in my white shirt, my black pants.
Look good for the last day. My idea of the last day, what I wanted out of it, was a little bit of a sufferfest, a little bit of a struggle, and just this like working through it.
We have to cooperate even more than we've already been doing, and we're like in the same boat, and that felt great actually. And we were able to like both talk through a lot of the stuff that has been coming up throughout this journey, and kind of settle some stuff that's been like bothering the both of us.
Thing is, like, you start paddling and you feel good at first, you know, oh, this is nice, you know, we're making good time, and you keep on going, and then you go down a valley because you didn't eat enough or you didn't drink enough, and you check the map and you hadn't gone as far as you thought you would, and you just observe these ups and these downs. And this is what I'm where I found a lot of wisdom in my long walks or my treks, because it's the same. You walk and you will go down, you will go up and you will go down, but to be able to find joy or happiness in both the low valleys and the high peaks, that is the wisdom I take from those kinds of experiences.
Just this repetitive pattern of movement put me in this space where there was nothing apart from what was happening there and then. And that, I would say, took me into this flow state more than anything did on this trip.
We spent 8 hours on that river. The entire expedition just comes back to me. Like everything we worked on, just those feelings, those emotions just flushes through me. And the challenges we faced and the ups and the downs and everything just accumulates in that moment. And to me, a very big moment in that was actually hearing the waves break. Because I could see, but there was always this, oh, maybe there's another turn, maybe we're not quite there yet. But then I could hear the waves break and I could see the waves eventually. And that's when I knew I've hit the Caribbean. And I've never been to the Caribbean, so it took a while for me to sort of start to digest that I'm actually seeing the Caribbean as well.
All the ups and downs, this whole roller coaster ride of emotion and doubts and fears and bliss and fun and like all these things coexisting, eventually culminating to this point where it's like, we made it. I don't know how to describe that other than blissful and going beyond what I thought I would be capable of doing.
That's the end of the Pacuare.
You see yourself so clearly, both strength and weaknesses. You are forced to be in the moment and not dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. When paddling a river, the content of your wallet, your job title, or your family history doesn't matter. The river doesn't give a shit what your last name is. The only thing that matters is what you do in that moment, how you handle your emotions and the decisions you make.
This is the Caribbean Ocean.